bells jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
Well, good morning. It is Sunday. It's December 6th. Is it the 6th? Yeah, it's this. Yeah. I am been doing a little bit of laundry this morning and doing a little bit of straightening up in the house. Simon is clearly wanting to be part of the activities, and so is Willie this morning. I decided last night that I would start a gift Christy sent me. It is the solstice hat, and it's from Yarn by Calypso Farms, which is an educational farmstead in Alaska. And this yarn is from their Shetland sheep. The art yarn is hand spun at Calypso Farms, and then the cream colored yarn is commercially spun. And I decided I wanted a really fast project, and this looked like it would be really fast. So I am working on the Calypso hat. So they have kits. You can go to their website. It's calypsofarm.org, and they have kits available in their shop for this hat. So yeah, I think I'm on row 7 of an 8-row repeat, or I'm about to be on row 7 of an 8-row repeat. Yeah, about to be on row 7 of an 8-row repeat, and you do that repeat 3 times, and then you do your crown decreases. There's a neat braid detail here too. It's my first time to do a braid, so I love that blue too. Isn't that pretty? Anyway, so I'm gonna get through one repeat of this, and then I'm gonna work on a sewing project. I'm gonna work on the rainbow fleece gaiters for the kids at the barn. So I want to get through one repeat of this and extricate myself from the animal pile here. So okay, oh god. Here comes Karen. Come on, y'all, move. No, don't knock the thing over. Come on, shoot. It's just another day at the funny farm that I bought to make the gaiters out of, and I'm just using a pattern for a military style gaiter that I found on Pinterest. It requires a 20 by 20 piece that you then fold in half and sew a tube out of, basically. So I'm just going to cut a 20 inch wide strip, and then since this is 60 inches wide, I can cut 3 squares. Since some of them have to be youth sizes, if I need to make one a little bit smaller, it won't be that big a deal. So I'm going to cut out a strip of these and try to sew them up and see how it works out. Okay, so I've got my squares cut out. Now all you do is you fold them in half. I cut one of them slightly smaller than the rest because I do have some younger kids that ride on the flag group. So you fold them in half, basically, and you sew a tube. And then you turn that tube inside out and you sew around the edges. And I'll show that in just a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to fold these all in half, and then I'm just going to chain, kind of like a chain piece with a quilt, and I'm going to sew all them up and then turn them. Okay, well, it worked out. I've got to do the top stitching, but I've got the wrong color thread on my machine to do that right now. These are meant to be snug. The reason I'm making them is so when we ride, we can pull them up like this for doing the flag show and then putting them back down. Y'all look at my mess. It's actually straighter than it was, believe it or not. It's much better. It's just full of potential, right? It's just a room full of potential. Anyway, so yeah, I think that's going to work good. I've just got to sew up the other one. Now, I did notice that I didn't pay attention, and on this one, I sewed it against the stretch. So you need that stretch for it to work. So I'm going to have to pick the thread out of this one and sew it up the other way But, okay, so I've got to make 12 of these. So, yeah, I guess I'll get busy. Okay, so I've got the rest of them cut out here. I'm going to make 12 total. So I'm going to get all these sewed up and ready for the top stitching, and then I'll change the thread on my machine. Okay, well, I've got them sewed up. So now all I need to do is, where I turned them, I need to do the top stitching. I've got white thread on my machine now, so I can do that. So I've got 12 gaiters made. They're all varying sizes. I'm going to pull the biggest one out for me. But anyway, so yeah, we'll get that done. And then that'll be a nice little gift for the people in the flag show. I hope they like it. We'll see. Okay, well, they're all done. I made a variety of different sizes. But these are all made out of polar fleece. I got it from Joann's, ordered it online and got it delivered, so I was pretty tickled with that. They're all done, and it was a very simple pattern. It's just a 20 by 20 square, then you fold it, and you want to make sure that the stretch goes around so that it can stretch out over your head, so you just have to be careful of that. But yep, it's done, so yay me. Well, I got the gaiters done, and I'm going to head out and feed here in just a little bit. I've been listening to some Christmas music. For some reason, it's got me in my feelings today, especially listening to Trans-Siberian Orchestra. You know, there's one of their albums is, well, their first two albums, Christmas Eve and Other Stories, which came out like in 1996, which I remember buying at a bookstore in Dallas, Texas, when my friend Adria was playing music down there. And also bought a book called The Christmas Dog as a kid's book. I need to find that. But anyway, so, and then the next one, The Christmas Attic, they're both about people finding their way back to love at Christmas time. And I was talking to somebody the other day, I think it was Tyra and Penny. And I guess my mom always talked about, you know, she came from a very big family, and they lived fairly close together for a lot of years. And they would get together at Christmas and holidays, and you had this family around. And my dad's family was exactly the opposite. They were small, and they didn't want nothing was special to them. There was no sentimentality about Christmas or birthdays or any of that kind of stuff, really. I mean, there were some things that we did, like Christmas Eve gift I taught with my grandpa, or, you know, stuff like that. But I kind of always wished when I was younger, I guess in my college days, well, really I didn't start thinking about it until after I went to grad school. But, you know, you have this sort of dream in your mind of this concept of these holidays and family coming together and doing things and making candy or making cookies, or, you know, wrapping presents just a certain way, or just that, oh, somebody's hunting, it sounds like, that concept of you know, Hallmark Channel Christmas. And that hasn't been my experience. You know, it's never been my experience. And sometimes that gets me in my feelings a little bit. I think that's why I have all the stuff that I have, because I had this idea that, you know, I would have that experience at some point in my life. And that's probably not going to happen, because, you know, realistically, that doesn't happen all that often. But anyway, so I think that's part of the reason why I have all of the wrapping stuff and the cards and all of the Christmas decorations. And I try to hang on to these traditions really hard, you know, because when I'm gone, that'll be it. Nobody else will know about them. And that gets to me sometimes. I'm not going to lie, that gets to me. But anyway, sorry I'm getting a little emotional. But anyway, so I'm going to head out and feed. And sewing machine's working good. Got that sussed. You know, I was having trouble with the bobbin, but it's all working out now. So I'm going to head out and feed. Oh, before I go, I'll show y'all this. The Weird Mountain Girls did an old-fashioned feed store calendar, and I ordered one, so I'll share it with y'all real quick before I head out. So the Weird Mountain Girls, which is a podcast with Byron Ballard and Alicia, I can't remember her last name, but they live over in North Carolina together, and Byron is really into hill folk hoodoo. And so they had these old-fashioned calendars made. But what I love about them, it has all the old school, like moon sign information and where the moon and the sun are and how to plant by the signs and kind of like that. So you've got these, this is the man that I've talked about before, and this tells you when to plant. So like, you know, when to planting and harvesting by the moon signs. And then it talks about, you know, when the signs are in the different parts of the body and all of that. And it talks about picking apples. I mean, just all kinds of cool old school information here that, you know, and then it even has on the back pages, it has the gestation tables for your animals and your breeding stuff, you know, your breeding, and then when you plant your crops and all that. So it's a really old school agricultural calendar. And then on the back it's got the conversion factors and then like some tips for house cleaners and all that. I love this kind of stuff. So they did this year, which I thought it was just really cool that they did that. And it's one of those where you flip it over and you go halfway through the year, then you flip it over and get the other half. So anyway, I had ordered this from Raven and Crone in Asheville, North Carolina, and it came in, and I forgot to show it to you guys. I wanted to do that. So I don't know if they still have them, but you might look on the Raven and Crone website and see if they still have them. But I just thought it was really cool. Y'all are finding some windfall sunflower seeds over there, are you? Yeah, okay. Well, you look like you're enjoying yourselves. I guess that's the main thing. Is that good stuff? That's good stuff, huh? Yes, you pretty girls. Yep, yep, yep. Smiley. Smiley. Why are you in the clothes hamper? That doesn't look comfortable. But I admire your ability to get in there without turning it over. Goodness, Bob Barker. Smiley's a good girl. Okay, well, I finished my outside chores, and I've had a shower, which is why my hair is wet and pulled back. And I decided I would work on this pillowcase that I was working on. I finished the one for Miss Betsy, but I thought I'd go ahead and try to finish the other one. I don't know when I'm going to be able to see her to give it to her, but maybe I can get them done. These were found in a thrift store find, but they've got some stains on them. I don't know if I want to just cut this panel off and try to sew it on another pillowcase, or I may wash these and see if the stains come out, and if they don't, then I can always put them on another pillowcase if I need to. So yeah, this is stamped cross stitch. I've showed these before on my podcast, and Wally is vying for attention here right now. But anyway, so I'm going to work on this for a little while and read a Christmas book. Okay, well, one thing that I wanted to try to make, since I'm making a few handmade things to put on the Christmas tree that I'm going to go cut this coming week. When I was a little girl, one of the things that we did is we made baler twine angels. Now, baler twine, when we would use round square bales, came in these rolls that look like this. Okay, this is one that you would actually put in a round baler, but you would get something similar for this for a square baler. And it there's a lot. I mean, you can't I would not advise going and buying the box of this, because if you do, you'll have enough to make angels for everyone in the entire universe for the rest of your life, because this is one of 2 rolls that came in there. But you know, I bought a box because I can use it for other things. But when I was a little girl, when I was in kindergarten, we made these baler twine angels. So basically, This is one that I've started here. Basically what you do is you make a tassel. The only difference being is you, instead of just tying it up here like you would for a tassel, you braid you some arms here and stick those in, and then you tie it again here. Okay, and then I'm trying to put a little halo on here. Probably would look nicer with like a metallic pipe stem or chenille stem. I guess the politically correct name for them is chenille stems now. But anyway, it looked better with a metallic one, but I had yellow, so that's what I'm going to use. And I've just tied it with some embroidery floss here. And then at a garage sale, I got a package of these doilies. I guess there's 40 of these in here. And so what I've done is I have just folded it in half, and I was playing around with the shape a little bit. I've got to get my glue gun so I can finish this, but I think what I'm going to do is kind of pinch it like that, or maybe fold it a little bit. But at any rate, I'm just folded it in half, and then I'm going to put it on the back of the angel like so. So I thought I'd make 3 or 4 of these to put on there. I don't have my glue gun in here yet. I thought I'd save that for later, maybe after supper. 1 more of these. So all I've done to do this is I made myself a cardboard form here. Now, the first time I pulled the twine, it came from the center of the ball, like I would load it in my baler, and it's very crinkly. So, and that's okay, because what I did after I made her dress down here is I just kind of untwisted it. You can do this with like a steel tooth comb or something. I've just taken my fingers and unwrapped each little strand here. It's pretty easy to do with just your fingers. So like there's, let me see if I can find one that I haven't done yet. So like, for example, here's one. Okay, here's one that I haven't done yet. So all I do is I take my fingers and I just kind of run through it, and it separates the twist out. It untwists it basically, and it lets it kind of be fluffy. Okay. So I forgot to put a hanger in. Now what I do is to put in a hanger, I should have done this first, but you can do it after the fact. I just cut a length of embroidery floss, and I'm going to run it underneath here and pull it up to the top like so. I don't know if y'all can see that. I just ran it underneath the twine and pulled it up, so I've got my 2 ends right here. And when I get done with my wrapping, the first thing I do before I cut it, I don't know why I really do this, is I go ahead and tie this top, and I tie it fairly tight. It doesn't have to be super tight, but I tie it fairly tight to hold it together. And like that. And I'm going to go ahead and tie it for a hanger just to get it out of my way. Like that. So just made an overhand knot in the top. So basically it's just like making a tassel. All right. And then I'm going to clip down here. All right. Now you can go ahead if you want to and cut this off of your board like I've done there. Okay. Now the next thing that I'll do is I'll tie to make the head. So I'm just going to pinch down and hold it about maybe, I don't know, 3/4 to an inch below where I've tied the top. I'm not doing a very good job of showing all this, I guess, but y'all have made tassels, so it's the same basic process. Okay, so then you twist, and I wrap it around pretty tight to create the head shape like that. Tie it. Okay, so all I've done is I've tied it there to make the head shape. I'll go ahead and clip my threads. I don't clip super close to the knot, just enough to kind of clean it up because I don't want it to come undone. Then to make my arms, what I do is I just take 3 pieces. I kind of eyeball how long I want them to be. I cut 3 pieces that are the same length. Same-ish length. I go ahead and tie one end. Now, you can knot this with just an overhand knot if you want to. I just rather wrap it with this floss, which is fine. It makes it a little more colorful. If you want to, you can use whatever color. I just grabbed a burgundy, kind of a burgundy color here. It doesn't really matter. You could use red or green, or you could use natural, or you could use baking twine if you have that. I just happen to have this floss handy, so I decided to use it. So I've just tied it at the top there. I'll go ahead and clip those off like so. And then you just braid it. So you just braid it loosely. I don't braid it super tight. Just braid it real quick. Like so. And then I'm going to tie, when I get to the other end, I'll kind of pinch it to hold it in place. And then I'll wrap again on this end with my floss. And tie that end off. So there you go. So I've tied both ends off. Clip, clip. Then I kind of eyeball about halfway, open my tassel up, slide this inside. And you can position it better once you get it, once you get it tied off. I go ahead and trim my ends off here a little bit, so it looks like that. And then I just take my twine and I tie around the waist. Now, if you wanted to, you could make a dress, or you could split the bottom parts and make legs. Doesn't have to be where the angel doesn't have to be wearing a dress, or I guess a gown, or however you want to make it. It's up to you. Okay, fancy. You could, make shepherds or wise men or whatever you want to do, if you want to do that kind of stuff. Or you could make corn dolly shapes. You could make Krampuses. You could make whatever. Because who doesn't love a good Krampus? It's Krampusnacht. Yesterday was Krampusnacht, right? Krampus came if you weren't a good little kid and took you away. So, I read a letter to Krampus about a little boy who wrote Krampus, and he said, "I'm sorry that I stole." And Krampus told him, "Well, it's okay, because I knew you were stealing to feed your little brother, because I know sometimes you guys go without." Maybe that's why I've been all up in my feelings today. I read that this morning. So, yeah. I also read one of the authors that I like to read. She sent out a special Christmas story about someone finding love right at the holidays. These two men moved in next door, lived next door to each other, and one of them loved Christmas and the other one hated Christmas. And it turned out that they both felt that way because they both had a major loss at Christmas time. And they ended up falling in love because of that, sharing that. So I thought that was a sweet little story. I read that this afternoon. So, right. So all I'm doing is I'm taking my fingers and I'm untwisting each one of these strands of cord or twine here. And it'll fluff out and make a fluffy bottom on the angel. This one's going to look a little different because the cord on this end is not crinkled up like it was when I pulled from the middle. Just gives it a different look. So I'll probably make 3 or 4 of these, put on the Christmas tree. I've got my snowflakes that I made earlier this year. I might make some more fabric folded stars. I've got some little twine or little twig wreaths. I could make some more of those too. Those would be easy. And I found, if I can find, I don't think I've got any white felt, but I've got green felt. And I remember that we used to take paper towel rolls or toilet paper rolls, and you glued green felt around the outside, and then you put the top, we used white felt on the top and bottom, but you could use cardstock or whatever. And then we took a yarn and put zigzags on them where they look like drums. And we used toothpicks for the drumsticks. So I might make a couple of those too. Just some nostalgic memories, right? Nostalgic memories. So there we go. So yeah, so there's her or his or whoever there. I don't know, whatever this angel is. There's their dress all fluffed up, or their skirt. Guess I better go hunting for a Christmas tree this week, huh? I'm kind of waiting a little bit because since it's going to be a live tree, I don't want it to get too dried out before Yule. Like that. Okay. So, a little Baylor Twine Angel action. I'm going to go get my glue gun here in a little while, or maybe I'll do it tomorrow. Get these made up and have some more little nostalgic ornaments for my Christmas tree. Okay, I had to take my hair down so it had any hope of drying out before bedtime tonight. I think that's where I'm going to end it today. I'm just going to make some supper and probably work on a little bit of cross stitch. I'm really struggling with that pillowcase for some reason. I don't know why it's fighting me so much. But I'm going to work on it tonight after I make some supper. And I guess I will see y'all tomorrow. So have a good one, y'all. Bye.
Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way.